How do I make money with my camera? Should probably hold the camera, huh? As a photography instructor, one of the questions I get all of the time is how do I make money with my camera? Photography students are eager to get out there, start their own business, and start making money. So today, I'm going through 5 different types of photography and how to land a paying job. Stick around to the end and I'll give you some general tips on how to start cashing in on all that expensive camera gear you've been buying and start making money with it. What's up? I'm Jay LeBlanc, wedding photographer and photography educator. Now, before I even get started with some of my helpful tips, I'm going to give a little disclaimer here. I am never a fan of working for free. I repeat, don't work for free unless you're getting something out of it. The only things you should work for is compensation, exposure that they can prove will come to fruition, or it helps you get closer to a bigger goal you have in mind. That being said, if you ever work for free, always have a contract. Even if it's your own mom, doing so will be great practice for when you do land those paying jobs. Having a contract in place will be able to cover you should some crazy thing come up after the job's already done. Also, if you do work for free, make it known that whoever you are working for, that this is a one-time, maybe two-time thing, or explain, hey, I'm trying to get into this industry and I'm getting my feet wet. I'll work for free one time for you, but after that, this is my rate. Or if you really like what I'm doing, here's my rate going forward where you can hire me to do the same thing. Make sure that whoever you're shooting for knows you will not shoot for free forever. When it comes to pricing, I like to break photography into 2 categories. Category 1 is the type of photography that you do because you want to make money, such as weddings, portraits, headshots, real estate. And category 2 is the type of photography that you do because you love it, because it brings joy to your life. For our first category, I'm sure you could have guessed it because I'm a wedding photographer. We're going to talk about weddings. How do you break into the wedding industry? It is so daunting, but it's really not as hard as some people might think it is. One of the first things that you could do right off the bat is offer to assist. Get out there. Wedding photographers are always looking for assistance. You can put your name out there, offer to work for other photographers, let them know, hey, I want to get into weddings. Could I assist you? Maybe be a third shooter on your next wedding? Many photographers will happily take you along with them. And I'm sure that photographer will call you again if you do a good job. You could also go out to a local place of worship, such as a church or a temple, or maybe even your local courtroom. Find out when there's some weddings happening. Reach out to these people if you're able to get their names. See if they have a photographer. If they don't, maybe offer to be their photographer for their ceremony and do a couple pictures before or afterwards. It'll really help them out and it'll give you something to put in your portfolio. Another option, find a friend or a family member who have recently gotten married. See if they can still fit into their wedding dress and wedding tux and have them put it on again. Do a whole stylized shoot for them. I'm sure they'll love it and you'll get some awesome pictures with a real authentic couple. And another option, collaborate with other wedding vendors. Maybe you know a florist or a DJ. Ask to come along and do some social media content for them. And in return, you can be at the wedding and photograph different things going on. If you go this route though, make sure you do not intrude on the photographer who the couple hired for their wedding. Do not try and take control. Do not step in front of them. Take a backseat role, but I'm sure you'll be able to get a couple good images out of it. Next up, we have portraiture. You can always shoot your friends and family. No friends? No family? Sorry, reach out to me. We'll chat. We can be friends. Reach out to some local portrait photographers in your area. Maybe you can offer to help assist on their next shoot. In exchange, you just want to learn something. Maybe pick their brain after the shoot's already over to see how you can land your first paying client. Are you maybe still in school? High school? College? Ask to shoot your classmates. They're some of your best resources. Plus, I'm sure they wouldn't mind the cool new free Instagram pictures. Next on our list, we have working with brands or businesses. Maybe you want to collaborate with them, be a content creator for them. Well, what's the best way to go about it? Just start shooting them. Maybe you love Nike. Next time you get a new pair of Nike shoes, photograph them before you ever wear them. Set something up in your house, maybe take some cool pictures of them before they even go on your feet. And then maybe you can find somebody who can model them and do some lifestyle stuff. Go check out the brand's website. You can get lots of ideas of what they're already doing for their marketing right there. Just make it slightly different than what they're already doing. Put your own little twist on it so it helps stand out. Maybe you like a local restaurant? Go there at sunset. Take a really cool picture of the building as the sun's setting. Offer to give it to them in exchange for them just tagging you in it so people know, hey, look what this photographer did for my restaurant. What do you think they could do for you? Maybe you love a local farm. Go home, cook up an awesome meal with some of the produce that you bought from them, and then throw that up on social media. Tag them in it. Make sure you're tagging these companies. Shoot the things that you love and the things that you want to be photographing. Keep posting it online, sharing it, tagging them in it until they notice. And if they don't notice, their competitors are watching. So maybe one of their competitors notice and say, hey, this guy's making some really good content for this restaurant down the road. What can he do for us? A little personal note on this one. A couple years ago, a Topgolf had just opened not too far from my house, and I wanted to check it out as I've never been to one before. So I went with some friends of mine and I brought my G7X Mark II. That's right, I brought a point and shoot camera with me and I documented our visit there. I shot a little bit of video just for fun, and then I went home, edited that video, posted it up on YouTube. Didn't think anything of it. A couple weeks later, I have somebody from Topgolf's marketing team reaching out to me. You never know where opportunity might come. Just make sure you're staying relevant and you keep posting, and the opportunities will come your way. And the next one we have on our list, real estate photography. This one is so easy to get started. Shoot the room that you're in right now. Shoot the house that you currently live in. Practice. Learn the skills and the tricks of the trade. Build a simple portfolio. Maybe you go to a family member's house and shoot their house as well, or a friend's house. Even if it's just one room, maybe they have a cool kitchen. Photograph it and throw it in a portfolio. Maybe they have a really cool game room or a bar setup, or maybe a living room that's just beautiful. Go photograph. You don't have to shoot the whole house, just enough to build a little portfolio of what you're able to do. We're not looking for a full MLS listing here, just a couple of those killer shots that'll help you get noticed by agents and interior designers who would hire you to photograph their next house. Maybe you go on vacation, shoot the hotel room that you're staying in, or even better, if you're in an Airbnb, you have the whole house that's practically empty. Shoot that as soon as you get there. While it's still nice and clean, you can always reach out to the Airbnb owner, send them the pictures and say, hey, I shot a couple pictures of your home while I was staying there. I would love to share them with you. Make sure you have a contract. Even though you're working for free, have a contract, just so they know the limitations of what they can do with your pictures. For real estate, you don't need a massive portfolio. You just need a strong portfolio. A couple of really good shots will go a very long way. If you're a college student, go shoot some of the buildings you have on campus. Or maybe you have a library or a museum nearby. Check their rules and guidelines first. They don't all allow tripods, but if you find one that does, bring your tripod along, shoot the interior. You can get some great pictures. And some museums and libraries have awesome architecture, which will make for a really good portfolio piece. And number 5 on our list is what I put into category 2. The types of photography I would put in this category are nature, landscape, musicians and bands, automotive photography. These are all types of photography I would consider type 2. The ones that you shoot because you love it. Now. Before you rip my head off because you love one of these types of photography, I have to say, there just aren't as many paying jobs out there for these types of photography. Don't get me wrong. There's still lots of opportunities to make money in these categories. They're just not as abundant and readily available as some of the other types of photography we already covered. I think if you really love these types of photography, keep doing them, and you'll learn about the opportunities that are available photographing these things. The first one that would come to mind is licensing or selling these images for a company to use as a marketing piece, or selling prints. Although that might be a little bit of a losing battle as it's losing traction to some AI, but that's for another video. But there are still opportunities in these genres of photography to make money. But the best thing that you can do, if this is something that interests you, is to get out there, shoot as much as you can, and share as much as you can. Get your images featured in groups or on web pages. Tag people, tag locations. Make it known that you are a photographer in that area and you can produce high quality images. If you stuck around this far in the video, I would love it if you can like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me about the types of photography that you're interested in, or maybe the ones you're already involved in. Tell me how you got started in the type of photography you're currently doing, and maybe you'll just be able to help somebody else out reading those comments. Now, I promised you some general tips. So the tips I'm about to give you here really apply to any type of photography. And the first one, I hope this is obvious to a lot of you, but it's networking. You hear in a lot of industries, networking is everything. Well, in photography, if you want to learn, networking is extremely important. And let me tell you, Facebook is a great resource for this. Yes, that social media platform that's meant for old people. The one thing that they do really well, better than all other social media platforms, is groups. You could go into Facebook, type in any type of photography you're interested in, and I'm sure you can find at least 20 groups of people who are talking about it, and interested in that very same topic as you. You can also attend events in the industry, workshops, or even local meetups where you can meet other people in your area who are interested in the same type of photography as you. And utilize social media platforms. Engage with other people. Don't just post and ghost. Don't just look at other people's pictures and say, I could do better than that. Engage with people. Ask them how they did something. Or maybe you can post one of your pictures and teach somebody else a technique that you know. Another one of my tips would be to maintain a good online presence. Listen, you cannot be a photographer these days and just not have an online presence. There are some people who might argue that, and if you can argue it, I'm sure it's because you really focused on the first tip, which is building your network. But if you don't have that network, the online presence is a great way to get your name out there. Maintain a good portfolio, pick a couple social media platforms that really work to your style or your genre of photography, and make sure that you're active with your audience. Respond to them when they ask you questions, comment on other people's pictures and videos, and build that community. Another tip would be offer promotions. Let people know, hey, I'm a new photographer. I want to get into portrait photography. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the first 3 families that sign up with me to do a portrait shoot a huge discount. You already let them know that you're starting off, you're new into this. You can set the expectations a little bit lower because you're being honest with somebody up front and letting them know, hey, I'm new. I may not be the best at this, but I'm giving you a great rate. And how could you say no to that? For this next one, this goes for any business, especially for photography. With photography, it's so much about the experience, and you have to give great customer service. No matter what type of photography you do, nobody wants to work with you if you're a dick. So make sure you give great customer service, and I'm sure people will be coming back to you. My next tip would be persistent. Don't give up just because you posted 5 pictures and nobody liked it. Post 100. Post 200. Post just because you want to post. But you know what's going to happen? When it matters, somebody will notice. Nobody might notice for years, but then all of a sudden one day somebody will notice. And it's like a snowball. You get 1 job, then you get 2 jobs, and then you get 30 jobs, and then you get 50 jobs, and it just grows so fast just because you were persistent over a long period of time. Don't get discouraged when nobody's hitting the little heart button, because if you have heart, who cares what other people think? Wow, that was deep. And to build on that, for my next tip, just keep shooting. Keep doing what you're already doing. Keep shooting what you love. Keep shooting what you want to be shooting. And eventually people will notice. And if you're proactive about it, sharing it actively, people will notice even sooner. And for my very last tip, it would be to just continue learning. Every day, make sure you're trying to learn one new thing. I'm not saying go on YouTube and watch hours of video. I'm not saying go to B&H's website and read the spec sheet on a new camera that just came out. I'm saying maybe you learn some type of marketing technique. Maybe you learn a business technique. Maybe you learn a new photography technique. Study other businesses. Study things that have nothing to do with photography. And maybe you can learn some way of translating that into your own business. Maybe you'll see some type of, I think I can use something like that with my own business. And then maybe you are the first one in the photography industry to do it. While it may seem like the people on YouTube have all the nicest, newest, greatest gear, there's a lot of people who are still out there making a full-time living shooting with gear that is 20 years old. You don't need the latest and greatest to make a career out of this. Even if you just use a couple of these tips from this video, I'm sure you'll be able to build a successful business. I hope some of this helped you, and I genuinely want to see the success of everybody who starts a business in the photography industry. That is why I've been teaching photography for over 10 years now, and I've just started to bring it to YouTube because I want to reach a larger audience than just the 15 people that sit in front of me in a classroom. I hope this helped at least one other person. If it did, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!